question is directed to Dr. Phillips and Dr.
Your efforts at creating a more sustainable environment within your universities entail costs. Just building greener buildings sometimes usually raises the cost of constructing a building. I wonder, what are the trade-offs that you have to make as private universities? I remember I had this conversation with Dr. Phillips that a private university that's not endowment driven but tuition revenue driven, their demands on limited resources. What trade-offs have you had to make in order to make your campus greener? That's my first question. Then the second question is directed specifically to Dr. Phillips. I noticed that your sustainability courses have a marketing catalog number. And I was wondering, is there any special reason why you put sustainability under the marketing program? And is there any other program within our schools where sustainability might fit perhaps better?
Yeah, I'll get that question out of the way first. Huh? That's basically expediency. It was mostly the marketing faculty that had the most interest in the sustainability certificate. So we went with that. We could have easily used a management designation. Perhaps they will have a specific sustainability designation, but we don't have it right now. So to get, basically the bottom line is to get it through fast. That's what we did. And we don't think it's very meaningful one way or another. But you make a good point. Oh, maybe just talk about the trade-offs. We had a lot of one big part of the university's activities, sustainability, has been retrofitting buildings and so forth to make it more energy efficient and so on. So actually, the university has seen that as a cost-favorable development. So a lot, I mentioned that as hard as just to imagine the facilities people think that the carbon footprint can be shrunk quite significantly, and that's a big piece of it, is putting in more efficient equipment, so that plugging away on that. I don't know a lot about the expenses that the facilities people have faced and what the trade-offs are, to be honest. I know that one of the big pushes has been to significantly subsidize public transit usage. And again, that's pencils out if you think about avoiding building a parking lot. Because in our environment, if we build a parking lot, it has to be multi-layered. Those are very, very expensive. So, if we can keep people from driving to campus, it actually can be cheaper to do that subsidization of public transit. So those would be a few examples.
If we start properly with the design, the cost will actually it will actually be lower in cost. So let me just mention this with the design of the new Rizal Library, because we were able to find the opportunity while they were designing the library. The cost was not as if, like, we're putting in the ventilation and the dual piping system. It cost a little, but marginal compared to re-engineering an existing building for dual piping and things like that. But it was what I usually tell the stakeholders is that we have to look at it in terms of short-term cost and long-term benefits. Most of the environmental efforts are more expensive in terms of capital outlay, but in the long term, they will give you added benefits. For example, in terms of the rainwater harvesting, that you already have the facility. We do have a lot of rain in the Philippines, and we don't really make use of that because most of the rain simply go into the sewage and out into the sea again. So we were trying to make use of that. Or, for example, convincing people into the decentralized wastewater treatment system was a very big thing for me, because I was doing it at the time when the Manila Water made a proposal to the Ateneo to put up a sewage treatment plant, and they would shoulder all the costs. All we had to do was to give them 1,000 square meters of land, and they built the centralized wastewater treatment here. However, we have to service the entire community, and it would really be high maintenance because it would use a lot of electricity, a lot of chemicals. The decentralized wastewater treatment system is like a series of anaerobic chambers, it's like a series of septic tanks. And it would be an advantage to you if you have a lot of land. But it would be low maintenance because it will just do things, it will purify on its own, except maybe for the very last phase where you need reed beds to remove the smell and things like that. So it was a battle between, the water system giving you a proposal that costs several millions and they'll give it to you for free versus a facility that you have to pay for yourself. But in the long term, it had better environmental benefits. At the same time, if you build that particular DWATS, it protects the area. You cannot build a building on it. So it's a natural barrier. It becomes a natural green area. So there are benefits, and it really, I think, takes political will to try to convince people that in the long term, this is going to be better for the community. I had another example, for example, the LED. Somebody mentioned that we had wanted to replace our lighting with LED, but right now the technology is still quite expensive if you buy LED, but the electricity cost is very, very low. So it's really a payoff, and right now we could not embark on it at once because we wanted to see, is the technology good enough so that we can invest in it. We have invested, for example, in a few spotlights because the spotlights usually consume about 500 watts to 1,000 watts. We replaced it with 12 watts LEDs, and they're on overnight. So you have to really look at which battle we fight, and I think that's it's really long-term benefits that I think convince people to take on the costs initially.